Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Sophia Lucia Parola, your host with Garden State Film Festival. It is the 22nd annual film festival this year. We have 200 films from 14 countries, all different types of films, shorts, animations, music videos, features, bunch of great stuff. And we're here talking about a short animated film today. Here with me is filmmaker Christopher Schoner. Chris, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Amazing.
I'm doing fantastic.
I love
I'm
to
really
hear it.
happy to be here.
Oh my God, I'm happy. I'm happy that you are here and you took the time out to talk to us. And I'm happy you made Hit and Run. Congratulations on getting accepted.
Thank you very much. It is an honor to be accepted, and I'm very proud of this milestone in my career.
Oh, me too. I love to hear that. And I can't wait to talk to you about this milestone. But before we get into it, can you tell our audiences a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Christopher Schoner. I am a 2D animator from New Jersey, from Cedar Grove, but no one ever knows where that's from. So I always say I'm 30 minutes away from Newark. I've been very passionate about cartoons since I was young, and knew from a very young age that this is what I wanted to do with my life.
I love that. And crazy. Born and raised in New Jersey, and I'm one of those people who don't know what that is. So, but Hit and Run, talk to us about this amazing film.
Okay, so Hit and Run is a film about Grim the Reaper and his ghost friend Randy getting into a bit of a fender bender accident, and then shenanigans ensue. The film is reflective of my kind of love of dry, sort of absurdist humor. And
Mhm.
yeah.
And wow, I mean, love that little synopsis, the little teaser leaves us wanting more. What was, I know it's your love of that type of humor, but was there any inspiration for this story itself, or it kind of just like came to you, like why these characters, why this story?
Um, uh, I'm trying to think. Well, interesting question. So I remember I remember watching the show growing up called Regular Show. It was a show about a cartoon bird and raccoon getting into like normal everyday kind of scenarios, but it
Mhm.
devolving into sort of like ludicrous scenarios where they're playing a game, and then that game character comes into real life and attacks them. So I was thinking, how can I take a sort of realistic could happen in real life scenario, and like how do I make
Mhm.
it like absurd?
I love that was your inspiration. And I was gonna definitely ask next about your animation style. You mentioned that you're a 2D artist, which I see now. Now it's clicking. Is what we see in Hit and Run, is this like, have you done animation style like this before? Is this your forte, or is this new for you? Talk to me a little bit about your art.
Okay, well, my style is still something I'm very much developing. I see a lot of my classmates in college. Some of them have like very good, very defined art styles. I feel like mine is recognizable, but it's still very much evolving. Um,
Mm,
yeah.
I love that too, because we're constantly learning and evolving. So I love that honest answer, and that you're still kind of, yeah, finding the groove when it comes to animation style. But I love what we do see in Hit and Run. And you mentioned your college. This is a college short, and you go to University of Visual Arts, right?
Yes, in Philadelphia, beautiful
Uh,
city.
Amazing. I can see it's doing well for your creativity. Was this like done in school? When did we make this film, and is it involved with the college at all?
Yes, this film was made for my junior year. So, and yes, it is involved with the college. I used a lot of the college's resources, the recording booths, because I don't own a microphone to record the dialogue. And while I do own a tablet, the school's tablets are much better and much
Right.
larger and easier to work with.
Yes, gotta make use of all the equipment that the wonderful institutions give us. And I'm so sorry, Christopher. I didn't even talk about your titles. I just called you filmmaker. So, guys, let me tell you what Christopher did in his film: writer, director, producer, animator, and was all the voices. So basically, that is a long way of saying he made this film all on his own. So,
It's, oh,
Christopher,
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, not at all. Please interrupt me at any time because I'll keep talking. Is this new? Have you done this before? Is this new for you? Wearing
I
all the
I've
hats?
I've been a one-man show before with my sophomore film, but this was definitely a step up from that in terms of what I was doing
Mm.
because I had a lot of things to keep track of, and while I did have my professors, my classmates to help me get feedback from, I was doing all of the work. I drew all the backgrounds, I did all the animation, I edited and mixed the dialogue myself. I planned out every scene, and it was a lot, which is
Uh-huh.
why for my next film, I'm getting a bit of help.
Okay.
So it's not just me.
How long did all of that take?
Well, I had 15 weeks to do it all because ordinarily how our college is structured is for the fall semester you would put together what's called an animatic, which is a skeleton of the film.
Mm.
However, for my junior year, they don't really structure it that way, so where you have to kind of put everything together. You have to do pre-production, production, and post-production in the span of 15 weeks in that semester,
And is that like so what we see is about a 3-minute short, right? Or
roughly.
is that enough time for this? Did you feel crunched for time? I mean, I know you did everything yourself, so clearly it'd be easier if you had some other help, but how was this time period?
Well, first of all, there was definitely a crunch. I think there always is, unless you are a much better a planner of your time than me. But it's still something I'm working on. Um, Sorry, could you remind me about the
Yeah, I
second
don't even know if there was a
part?
question in there, but basically, is that time period? So that's like what, a little more than 5 months, 15 weeks. Is that would you say enough time for a 3-minute short, or is that like too little of a time, too much? I don't know how animation works.
I
Is that
would have
normal?
liked more time. I would have, with more time, I could have done more animation. I could have given a bit more depth to the characters because I do wish I could have done more with the film. But
Hmm.
with the time constraints, with the deadline, there are certain. I'm trying to find the word. There are decisions you have to make.
Right.
The term I believe in film I've heard from my professor is "kill your darlings." Sometimes,
Right. Some
if it
things you
just
gotta
doesn't
sacrifice.
work with the
Uh-huh.
timetable, it then if it's going to hinder the film in terms of time, then it's best left out.
Right. Okay, so lots I want to talk about still, but I'm specifically really interested in the voices of the characters because you did them all yourself. How did you find these voices and what was it like kind of becoming these characters and recording?
Um, So I tried to first when I was thinking about the voices I wanted to give these characters, I thought of like their personalities, like how would they say a certain sentence as opposed to how I would say it.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, because they're voiced by and created by me, they're connected to me in some way. But I didn't want them to just be me. I wanted them to
Uh-huh.
feel somewhat distinct. And
Yeah.
while I did use audio mixing to sort of change their voices with Grim, the main character in the hat and the beanie. I've pitched his voice down, and for his ghost friend Randy, I pitched my voice up.
Mm. Oh,
And
wow. And I mean, like, what would you say is the hardest process of making this film, if there was one?
the hardest process of making the
Like the
film,
hardest
I
part
think,
of it, because you had to, yeah, the animation, the voicing, like so much you had to do. Was there any hardest part for you?
honestly, I think it was the actual animation of it because I'm sitting at my desk for most of the entire day. If I have class that day, I'll go out and like go to class, get something to eat, and come back to my dorm. But like that's it.
Right.
It's the monotony of it.
Uh-huh.
I do love it because I feel like you do have to love something in order to go out on a limb like this, to go to college for it and
Mhm.
dedicate so much of your time to that one thing.
Yeah. Especially, yeah, animation, because although I never done myself, I know just seeing videos just so tedious and lots of little like minuscule movements, right? I don't even know. I don't even know if I'm saying this right, but it looks tedious and long. So, Christopher, yes, as we said, you did this all yourself. It was a long process. You have learned a lot. What are some of the things that you learned making this animated film that maybe other people can take or that you'll take with you to your next project?
Oh yes, very much so. Firstly is create plans for yourself, create goals for yourself every week, in terms of production. Like I want to get the background for this shot done. I want to animate this shot this week and do X, Y, and Z. Because if you're sort of like if it's not structured, if you don't plan it out, then everything kind of just jumps out on you towards the end.
Mhm.
Otherwise, either you end up like rushing it and like getting it done, or you just don't get it done, which is
Right.
a real big disappointment, not only to yourself, but for the people who are looking forward to your film, to your work.
Absolutely. Plan, plan, plan. Good advice no matter what you're in, especially in the filmmaking world. So thank you for that. And my last question for you, Christopher, is have you ever been to Garden State Film Festival before? And how does it feel to have Hit and Run screened this year at the 22nd Annual Garden State Film Festival?
I have not. I have never had the pleasure to go to the festival, although I have wanted to. I figured now is the perfect time, the
Yeah,
perfect reason.
come in with the
Um,
film.
and I,
Yeah,
as I
how do
said
you feel?
before, I'm very, very proud of myself, and looking forward to this being an important benchmark in my career as a storyteller, as an animator, as a enjoyer of media,
Mm.
and I'm very, very thankful.
Absolutely. You should be proud of yourself in every way. And I know you said you were a lover of cartoons, which obviously you could feel that passion just talking to you and watching your film, but I'm sure watching that has done so much for you growing up. Are you hoping your work, this film and just your projects in general, what are you hoping they do for audiences when they watch Christopher Schoner's films?
Honestly, I I I just hope it makes them laugh at the end of the day, because that's what I want to do. I want to tell stories that make people happy, that make people forget maybe about their troubles at the end of the day, something that they can talk about with their friends and say, "Oh wow, that was cool," and just something to make lives better, something to contribute to the world.
I love that. Couldn't think of a better mission, and we need more things to just make us laugh and forget about our worries. So, thank you, Christopher, for making Hit and Run. Congratulations again. It has been a pleasure talking to you about it. Let me tell audiences how they can watch Hit and Run. It will be screening Saturday, March 23rd in the Film Block 6 to 8:30 p.m. at Berkeley Hotel in Kingsley Ballroom. So, definitely check it out. Meet this amazing artist, and hopefully, I will see you at the Garden State Film Festival, Chris.
Awesome. I hope to see you there too. Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you guys at the fest. Bye.
Have a wonderful day, everyone.